And the president and I went to Copenhagen back in 2009. And it was a head of state, head of government meeting about climate change. And we knew if we didn't get India and China on board to do anything, none of it would amount to much because they were growing so fast. On board to do anything, none of it would amount to much because they were growing so fast. They were building new coal plants. And you couldn't blame them for saying to us in the U.S. and the West, you all got to develop, and now you're telling us we can't use what we know will work, namely coal and fossil fuels and the like. So the president and I were determined to see the Chinese and the Russians, not the Russians, the Chinese and the Indians, and they did not want to see us. And we put the word out. We want to know where they are. And we kept being told, well, they're on their way to the airport, or they're in another meeting. And, you know, the president and I would look at each other like, say, how could they be leaving? So we sent out scouts. I mean, truly, this is what happened. We sent back to us, and sure enough, they came back and said, they're meeting at the far end of the conference center, up a staircase, guarded by Chinese security. So I look at the president, and he looks at me, let's go. So off we went. And we were marching through the convention center. We went up the stairs. The Chinese security guys saw us. Stop, 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 they said. And the president and I said, oh, we're so glad to see you. It's so nice to know you're here. We've been looking all over for you. They throw their arms in front of the doors. You know, the president pushes past. I go under. And so we show up, and so the Chinese and the Indians and the South Africans and the Brazilian heads of state are sitting there. So the president, we've been looking all over for you. So glad we found you. We pull up a chair and we sit down, and we reached an agreement which gave us the first opportunity of trying to get the Chinese and the Indians to agree to measure and report their emissions. Now, it wasn't a treaty. Everybody had hoped for more. I'd be the first to say. But if you follow the line from that meeting in Copenhagen, where we sat there, we had our Chinese interpreter sitting between the president and me, and all of a sudden, the prime minister of China says, well, maybe we can talk about this. And one of the other people with him starts screaming at him in Chinese. And the prime minister says, don't translate. And so meanwhile, the president and I are leaning back, and our guys translate, you can't do this. You can't agree to anything. No, no, no. And we're just sitting there smiling, and we got the agreement. Now,